do to look at what you've done to learn from your performance, or is it something really hard to deal with?
First of all, hi, how's everybody doing? Everybody okay? Anybody want to blow their nose? I saw this for the first time in a screening by myself about a year after it was complete. I think this film really succeeds in the editorial process. The responses that are found to the dialogue, the interpersonal dialogue that characters have, play off of the reactions in a way that you don't even notice, but it feels so organic. And when I saw the film, I mean, I knew I'm the guy in it, but I was quite taken. I felt as if I needed to reconsider a few things in my mentality, and I thought things are going to be different for audiences going forward, because they'll likely feel similarly. There are unconscious biases that we hold as human beings, and we're confronted by that in this film. And hopefully, on the other side, we can change some hearts and minds about the way that we consider and regard one another, apart from how we present physically to the world. And I think this is a film that has pushed that important dialogue forward a little bit. I'm lucky to be part of it.
It is an amazing piece of art, and it's an amazing movie. Did you see that when you spoke to Darren for the first time? Because I mean, it is a play, but the script wasn't ready, as far as I've heard, when you met Darren. Did you see what Charlie is as a person, and how driven were you towards the project?
Darren was quite forthcoming with me about how this would be a difficult role to play. He said, look, you're going to be in a prosthetic makeup for 12, 14 hours a day. It won't be exactly comfortable, but I thought, so what? I want to be a part of this. I happen to love the process and the craft of makeup and filmmaking. So that wasn't a problem, but the real work came from the script itself, which didn't really change that much from what I saw. We had 3 weeks to rehearse this, and I say that because it's quite remarkable and unusual for a film company to be supported, to give its cast the time to make its mistakes and its discoveries and bond, so that we would be ready by the time we arrived on the build set. I mean, it seems almost kind of funny to, you imagine that, actors getting to know how to do their job before they show up to do it. But Darren's needs were always met. He's an incredible collaborator. He takes the best ideas, no matter where they come from, and he always gives credit right away to whomever put forth whatever the idea was. He sees everything. And I mean, he's a Hawkeye. Like, he told me that were he not a director, he would have had been a baseball umpire. I know, I'm in Germany. The umpire stands behind home base. He gets the last word, he sees everything. Okay, you're welcome.
Talking about collaborations, it's amazing to see Sadie Sink, Hong Chow, and Samantha Morton in this movie. And it feels like, I mean, your performance is outstanding, but it is teamwork. How important and how freeing was it to suddenly be a part of this ensemble, and to be with Sadie, and to be with Hong, and to be with Samantha?
Well, first of all, Sadie Sink is incredible as an actress, as a young woman, as a talent. I had a front row seat to watch this kid win the gold star every single day. I mean, she brought home the game balls. She had moves to spare. She's so good. And how does she know how to do that so early on? It took me 32 years to figure out how to get this far. Her approach to playing Ellie was, I think, pitch perfect, because she never fell into the trope of an angsty teenager that we've seen so often. And clearly she's a very angry young woman, and with good cause. She was a very hurt little girl. But Sadie's approach to this was to just use Sam Hunter's words like ammunition against her father. Hong Chow has such variety, and she has an ability to authentically play each moment. You would never know this because it probably made the editorial process tricky, but she had such variety that Darren would, he would say, okay, I think we got it. Why don't you just show off for us? We're here. And just let her do whatever. That was the highest compliment. Me, I was like, okay, Brendan, take 36 and action.
It sounded like, it sounds like a lot of fun, and to be honest, this performance, a very pivotal part in your career, and especially for you personally, probably. And we're very glad that all the accolades and all the awards have been sort of thrown towards you, deservedly. What would you say is Charlie as a person and as a character in your career? What does he mean to you, and what did you take from that movie?
Charlie's so much more than who he is as he presents, clearly. He's a father, he's an educator, he's a human being, he's flawed. There's some dark shades to some tactics that he employs just to, well, survive. And consider that his best friend, Liz, is a healthcare worker, a nurse, and he's reliant on her to bring him what he needs. And in that instance of a human being, and what he needs is the food that he requires. It's really no shade above or below anyone else who we all may be aware of that struggle with substance abuse or drinking, or pick the vice. We all have that drawer that Charlie has. Consider that. I felt that he was a character that I felt I knew, in a sense, because he reminded me of a mentor I had when I was a student. He reminded me of friends that I've made, having worked in the theater. He reminded me of people I just have loved and gotten to know just by being alive. And when I first read this, I thought, I felt protective over him, is what I felt. And the final day that we shot, when all of the apparatus came off, I had a surprising, I didn't anticipate feeling as emotional as I would. I felt like I was saying farewell to a good friend. I know that's a little actor woo-woo, I know, but it got me in the feels. What can I say?
There's this one big night, and I remember watching it live on the telly in LA, and I remember that all of my friends and colleagues went completely berserk when a young actor named Brendan Fraser entered the stage at the Academy Awards and received the Oscar. Could you describe that moment? I mean, what did you feel, and what is it like to listen to someone calling out your name and knowing that you have to walk up those steps and say something smart?
None of us knew who would hear that name read aloud, I'll tell you that. And I was seated in the Kodak Theater, at the very far corner seat over there. Like, if you were in the Kodak, I was over there. And the thing about the speaker from the stage, you could hear, you wouldn't know this watching at home or broadcast, you could hear their stage voice like this. You could also hear their stage voice like this. I'm sitting over there. So there was something dissonant happening between hearing this and hearing this and hearing this. And when they said the name, I didn't know if they said my name or whose name. I had to microprocess it for a panicked moment, and I realized it was me. And it took the wind out of my gut. I'm like, it was really great to shake hands with Colin and to catch Austin's eye and to pay homage to the guys that I was nominated alongside because of how talented they are. I mean, this year's crop of films at the Oscars, if you look at them, at least from the category I was in, well, really all of them, they're performance-based in their strength. There's not a lot of pyrotechnics going on behind the films. And I think, this is my theory, it's because this was a film, ours was a film, all of these films actually were made during the time of COVID, whilst we were all, at home, staying safe. Mostly, and may I just take a moment to say how pleased and grateful I am that you are all here and that we can do this again, that we can come back and enjoy the ritual that is cinema. It's very important. It was a moment for me that was more intimate than I was anticipating to thank everyone who was there and at the same time show my gratitude for all those who brought me to the place that I was.
And you deserved it, definitely. And now you have a golden Oscar. And I recall that Meryl Streep once said that she placed one of the 1,000 statues that she's received so far in the guest toilet for everybody to see it by accident.
Or on purpose.
Yeah, on purpose. So where are you keeping yours?
I already told you. I got a helmet, and I glued it to the helmet, and I put it on my head. I go get my morning coffee.
Get the newspaper in the morning.
Precisely. It's in a safe place. On the hood of my car.
Very humble. Brendan, now they say that an Academy Award is a booster for someone's career. You've had an amazing career so far, and now with having received an Academy Award, how do you go about choosing the next projects? Are you more relaxed? Are you more picky? Is the pressure even greater because, the next one needs to be as good, as big, as great as The Whale?
If it was an easy job, everyone would be doing it. Yes, I will select carefully. I feel a sense of obligation that I wasn't anticipating. And it isn't to keep up at a pace that I was fortunate enough to find myself at, but I do know that for what I cared about in the creation of this film, I'm going to have to make sure that whatever it is that comes along is something that I wholeheartedly love and want to be a part of. But other than that, I'm looking for a job.
Anyone? There are a couple of great movies coming out, and you are part of it. Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon. Yes. Brothers with Josh Brolin and Peter Dinklage, a comedy. It sounds fun. Who are you in the threesome?
What?
But they're playing brothers, that's what I'm trying to say.
I thought we're in Berlin here. Okay. And the question was, what am I doing next? Looking for a job.
So, we spoke about it. I mean, Indiana Jones is going to return this summer. So, what about Rick O'Connell returning?
Well, if someone has a great idea, talk to my betters, because I'm in the book.
And you're looking for a job?
I'm looking for a job. Hey, look, that could be fun. It made a lot of people happy, from what I'm told. And it's a movie that wasn't easy to make. I tried to do it 3 times. Tom tried once.
Okay, Brendan, last but not least. Last time you were in Berlin is a long time ago. Cornelia Funke's movie Iron Inkheart.
Tintenherz.
Tintenherz. Now he came back for The Whale when he returning to Berlin.
What you doing later? I'm hopeful that there could be a co-production or something here. It's an exciting city that you live in, and I know that a lot of incredible films have been shot and born of where we are right now. And I know the industry owes a debt of gratitude to all the German filmmakers who've come along before me. So thank you for being here this evening.
Thank you very much for being here in Berlin tonight and being here at the special screening for The Whale. Thank you so much. All the very best. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Brendan Fraser.
Und wie wir alle sehen können, euch Ihnen hat der Film gefallen. Denkt dran, er startet kommenden Donnerstag in den Kinos. Sagt es gerne weiter. The Whale mit Brendan Fraser. Wunderschönen Abend, bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss!